Okay, I'm going to read the synopsis on the Netflix sleeve for a third person. A trio of relationship stories set alternating in New York, Paris, and Rome explore the range of human emotion when it comes to love and love lost. Each of the relationships are complicated by secrets, intimacy, and human nature. This is done by, I want to say his name is Paul Haggis, the guy who did Crash. He seems to have this weird penchant for wanting to take multiple stories and kind of weave them together with some themes. So essentially you have three kind of independent stories that occasionally touch. Very, very loosely touch. The weird thing is the three stories independently are actually decent stories. You have some pretty solid acting. The interconnectedness is where they really, really fall apart. The main crux of the story is you have Liam Neeson, who is a writer, who is having an affair with Olivia Wilde, who she's an up-and-coming journalist. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, who's kind of a arrogant recluse, and she's undeniably emotionally cold and distant. Their storyline is very much the May-December sort of romance where they both have a lot of tremendous issues. Overall, not a bad story. Works pretty well. Another one has Adrian Brody as a guy who walks into a bar in Italy called Cafe Americano because he wants something American. He's just tired of dealing with all these Italians. Meets a woman and then gets dragged into her really bizarre, sordid kind of... she needs all this money to get her daughter. Which, well acted, seems entirely out of left field. There are bits and pieces that tie all three of these together. And then your third sequence is James Franco and Mila Kunis. They essentially are they're divorced, kind of fighting over the rights of the one child. This has some pretty decent James Franco acting and some pretty great Mila Kunis acting. And I'm like, all right, here we go. These are three pretty decent stories. None of which get a tremendous amount of depth to go that far. This film is about 2 hours long. So you have three stories in about 2 hours. So you're thinking, all right, that's about 40 minutes a story, which is decent enough to get a lot of emotion through. But with the constant jumping back and forth, and then the moments where they feel kind of forcibly squeezed together, it's got moments where I'm like, you know what? This isn't that bad of a movie. And then the ending happens. And that's where, for some people, this movie is going to just coalesce and be awesome. And other people, it's going to not mesh well at all. I'm okay with the film having some bizarre red herrings and left turns, stuff like that. I'm okay with that. Watch me. I'm okay with that. But when you get towards the end, it kind of feels like, oh. Okay. Next story. Okay. Third story. Okay. So good acting from independent stories. The way they resolve everything, I did not like at all. So I'm going to go into some small spoilers here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, James Franco makes a phone call to the Mila Kunis character. Her place is entirely empty. Okay. Then James Franco disappears. Adrian Brody is out with the Romanian woman, and as they're driving, they've got her girl in the back, and the car disappears. Liam Neeson may or may not have been involved with Olivia Wilde. It's a woman that he kind of saw. They might have actually been together, and the story that he actually wrote is done specifically with her and with her character's other issues, which are more or less kind of thrown out like, abusive father, boom, bombshell dropped, done. We're not going to deal with it. It's just going to happen. Okay. Adrian Brody had his daughter died, which is what led to his marriage kind of falling apart. They constantly go back to the woman who was Adrian Brody's wife trying to swim in a pool, and then later it's revealed that it's Kim Basinger, who's Liam Neeson's wife, who's actually been using the pool. So now all of a sudden you go from, it felt like 3 stories that were kind of interlaced when it came to issues related to trust and the secrets and the child abandonment and child death and everything related to horrible things happening to children. You're like, alright, that kind of fits into. So did I just watch a movie about a guy who was writing a story that may or may not have been autobiographical about things that happened to himself while making himself into individual characters and writing different stories? And I was like, oh. It felt like it was going that way, but it was like, I'm only given 2 hours for this film. I felt like the ending needed a few more minutes. Instead, it was kind of like, we're going. Oh, we edit the crap out of this and finish it now. So, I liked bits and pieces of it, but the thing as a whole just, nah, sorry. Great moments, some really solid acting, but not executed well.